Red snake on path, Mui Wo woods. I said goodbye to my students and threw on my pack. Off I went down the wooded path to Mui Wo. As the trail bent, I had to stop my step to prevent myself from stomping a shiny red piece of string, a worm-like, wriggling, long-living thing, a bright red snake with triangular-tipped head, which below me was slithering. He saw me just as I saw him, and both of us equally panicked. This snake I'll now call Red skid to a stop just to the path's edge. I quickly walked backwards a good 10 steps. On the leaf-covered way I waited. The snake also chose no further to go. Alone in those woods I watched Red, while Red watched me. Neither of us willing to concede the path, just us two pondering how best to proceed. I'd scared him. He'd scared me. Nonplussed, I took out my camera phone, as one does when stuck with snakes alone, and took Red's picture. He posed much stiffer than modern style, like a stick laid prone. I took one step closer and asked him to pose. Red refused. I managed to get one shot where his triangular head crooked left. He still looked like a stick. I put my phone back in my pack. Long we both waited on that path. For our scared stalemate in some way to break, Red lay and watched me. I watched him back. At long last, an old Chinese man walked up on the path behind me. He stopped beside me. I said, "There's a snake ahead." Interested, the man's head cocked to one side. He revealed a toothless smile as he asked, in words hesitant, "A a big one?" "No, small, not too long," I answered back, to which he nodded, reached down for a twig, then swung it back and forth as he walked on quick. Red just played dead as this man swung on past, so I followed suit and grabbed a stick. Sure enough, Red gave me the same deal as given to my fellow traveler, so now I walked down the hill just following this toothless man's example. The pair of us moved over trodden down grass, smashed into a mudded mass, swinging our twigs to send a message to all Red's family and friends. We swung all the wilder as we passed through taller reeds that squeezed in on either side of us once the hike took us down and deep into the trees. As the canopy covered us in, I began to panic, so I hit the rock steps that now led us farther down the hill with the tip of my stick. The man turned round as he heard the commotion I raised behind him, as though I knew something he did not. He too began to beat the rock steps below. The strikes he made raised in me such fright that I smacked wildly as a rush of adrenaline suddenly kicked in. The toothless man's pace also picked up. There in the Hong Kong rainforest, on Lantau Island, the pair of us locked into a cycle of loud and frightened stick-swinging, snake-scaring ruckus. Then we both broke into a run, racing through weeds, piled leaves, under vine-covered trees. Over sharp rocks we sprinted, swinging our sticks while we rushed, until at last we made it to the concrete patchwork path just above the houses at edge of Mui Wo. So then we both slowed to a stroll, plus blushed a bit, laying our sticks down at the side of the wide cement path after the next turn before we entered the main stretch of white-painted village. Neither of us spoke about our panicked stick-swinging adventure, although I did get nearly turned round when the path broke into 7 forks, so the man took me by the elbow and asked me simply, "Mui Wo?" then smiled toothlessly as he pointed me down the trail I was meant to travel. In such a way that said we are both courageous men who had the heart to smartly outwit snakes by banging sticks. This moment passed, our paths led apart. Years from now, I'll tell the story about how one dark Hong Kong morning, on untrodden paths, men armed with just staffs and pitched battle earned lasting glory as we slayed wriggling red snakes, hence vanquishing the last venomous creatures from such shores. Men from days of yore whose bold deeds made all the difference. Red Snake on Path, Mui Wo Woods, brought to you by electricsoupforthesoul.com. The entire poem available for free at electricsoupforthesoul.